Hi there. So this is going to be a 30-minute yoga practice for those of you with any kind of a wrist injury. It'll be non-bearing injury, so most likely it's going to be broken or sprained, or if you just have bad arthritis and need a few days off, this can be a practice that you can use. So we'll start as we always do, coming into a comfortable seated position, just preparing ourselves to come to our practice today. Closing the eyes, finding a nice steady pace of the breath. Not minding the dogs who are going to be running around during this. Again, we'll sweep our hands up towards the sky. Exhale, we'll twist towards the right. So we're going to be looking over our right shoulder. Hands come to either side of the mat. But they don't need to actually bear weight. You can even just twist and place your hands on the outside of your hip if you'd like. We'll inhale as we reach to the sky. Exhale, twist to the left. And here we're really just warming up our spine. Not looking for any real deep stretching yet. Inhale and reach high. Exhale and we'll lean towards one wall. For myself, I'm leaning towards the right. Left arm is reaching up and over my ear. And here, if you'd like, your fingers can be placed on the mat, kind of in a tented position. You can also be down on your elbow. Or if that's too much pressure, you can even just leave your hand right on your leg here. Just give yourself a gentle bend. Again, we're just waking up the spine, opening the side body. Inhale to center. Exhale, we'll switch sides. Same variations on this side. Elbow, tenting, or resting the hand on the hip, on the thigh. And inhale to center. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Breathe. Finding space and calm. Noticing any thoughts that are coming up, but letting them just pass by. Not placing any labels or judgments on them. Just letting them be and letting them go. And next inhale, I'm going to reach the arms back towards each other behind our back, opening up that chest center. And exhale, we'll round the spine, creating sort of a circle in front of us. Bowing your head if it feels okay on your neck. And then inhale back to this heart opening version of cat-cow. And exhale as you round the spine, opening that back center of the heart. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. continue doing this motion here for a few more breaths at whatever pace feels best for you, for your body. The goal of this yoga class is to really listen to our bodies, respecting any physical limitations we're feeling. Finding our way that we can balance our practice and any injury together, so we don't have to give up the practice, but we also don't injure ourselves further. 2 more rounds here. We'll come to a neutral spine, hands resting on the thighs. Again, we'll just close our eyes for a moment. Taking a breath here, noticing what your body feels like. Paying attention to any sensations, any aches or pains. And without judging them, see if you can differentiate which ones are actual pain and which ones are just minor discomforts. If it's an area of tension, maybe it's something that we can work out during the practice. And if it's something that's painful, being aware of this and doing what you can to minimize making this worse, making it come back. Paying attention to what all those little nerve cells are telling you. Go ahead and open your eyes. We'll come to a standing position. We'll start with a variation of not quite a sun salutation, but in the same vein. We'll inhale and reach up towards the sky. Exhale, we'll fold with a flat back. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees slightly with a flat back, rising up. Doing the same motion again. Hands come to heart center. We'll do this a couple more times. Paying attention here, since we can't really use our hands as much, paying attention to our feet, what our feet are feeling. Maybe even rocking back and forth a couple times, and finding your sense of balance and gravity. Maybe you'll notice that you usually place all your weight on your heels, or all the way up towards the ball of your feet. See if you can go somewhere just in the middle of that. Imagine that you're bringing the arches up in towards you, really making those quads nice and taut. And we'll inhale here, reach up towards the sky. Exhale as we bow forward. Inhale, rise halfway, really lengthening through our spine. So the crown of the head is reaching towards one wall, tailbone reaches towards the opposite. Exhale to fold. Slight bend in the knees as you rise with a flat back. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Repeating this, inhale, reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Bent knees, flat back as we rise up. Hands to heart center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. And this time we're going to bring our toes together. And some people like to bring their knees or their ankles together. It's up to you depending on how you practice. We're going to bend here our legs, really bringing our buttocks down towards the floor, reaching those arms. We're just going to come straight in front of us for a minute. Finding a variation of chair pose, but really, again, focusing on where those feet are. So instead of focusing on what's going on with our wrists, anything like that, focusing on our feet. And if this hurts your wrist to even just press out like this, you can go ahead and you can bring them into prayer position if that feels okay. You could even cross them in front of you. We're really focusing on our feet and on our legs here. Pressing up through the feet, we'll rise. Give a slight back bend here. And then hands come to heart center on an exhale. Inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair variation. Noticing how our feet are feeling this round. Do they feel any different? Do they feel the same? Pressing through the feet as we stand. The slight back bend. Exhale, hands come to heart center. And we breathe a nice deep, full, nourishing breath. Inhale, hands reach up towards the sky. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Coming up through a chair variation. And this time, if this is feeling okay, we're going to work on bringing our arms up. By doing this, we'll start to work a little bit more of our back, opening up some of that soft tissue. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're going to rise. Then we'll fold once more. Coming back into the normal Utkatasana chair pose. Rising all the way up to stand. Gentle back bend. And hands come to heart center. So now we'll go ahead and do a few more standing poses here. Trying to make sure I'm still in the camera angle. Starting at the front of your mat here, go ahead and take a step back with the left leg. We're just going to come into a high lunge. So focusing first, as usual, on our alignment. We want to make sure that our knee, our front knee, our right knee, is not over our toe. So when you look down at your right foot, you should be able to see that big toe. 90-degree angle here. And the back leg should be almost as if you're on skis. So they should be pretty close in line, but not directly in line and not too far out. Really pressing that heel towards that back wall. Once you have this stance here, reaching the arms up towards the sky into crescent. Finding a point on the wall to gaze at. Listening to the breath and letting it guide you. And sweeping the hands back, we're going to lean the upper body forward, coming almost into a Superman position. And back up to crescent. Sweeping the hands back down into a Superman. Reaching up one more time. This time we're going to straighten that front knee. Once it's straight, we're going to pick up the big toe on the right side to protect our knee, or you can just add a little micro bend in that knee. Just going to fold forward. If you'd like, you could bring your left leg forward a little bit if that feels better. If you find that this even is too much pressure on your wrists, go ahead and really bring that foot forward, that back foot, and then you can just keep your hands wherever they feel okay. Again, you can even crisscross them if that feels better. You're just leaning over. It can be an intense stretch here on the hamstring, but it can also just be a gentle one. Now bending that front knee again, we'll rotate the back heel down to the ground. And without using our hands too much, we're going to sweep up into Warrior Two. Again, paying attention to our alignment first. And bringing our arms up. Staring out past our ring finger on the right hand. I invite you here to really pay attention to how your feet feel. Are you really pressing through the outside of this back foot? Are your toes on the front foot? Are they scrunched up or are they nice and spread? Inhale here and reach up towards the sky. And exhale back down, Warrior Two. This time we'll bring our right elbow towards the inside of our right thigh. Left hand is going to reach up and over the left ear to extended side angle. Again, if this hurts one of the wrists, you can always place your hands on your hips, or you can just bring them here. One thing we don't want to do is if they are here, we don't want to put all of our weight on our thigh because that's not going to do much for us. But you can hold them in here. Breathing steadily. Inhale as we rise. Picking those right toes up and bringing them towards the front of the mat. Inhale nice and tall here. Exhale, we're going to fold forward to a nice wide-legged stance, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway, really lengthen the crown of the head all the way through to the tailbone. And then exhale and release. With a slight bend in the knees, pressing up to stand. We'll rotate those right toes back, and then picking up the left heel. We'll rotate as we come back into crescent one more time. And then in one or two steps, we'll step forward. And bring our hands down to heart center on an exhale. Noticing how the body feels, how the feet feel, the legs. We'll inhale and reach towards the sky. As we exhale here, stepping back with the right leg into a nice lunge. Once again, making sure that we have our alignment where we want it, so we can still see our big toe on the left side. Our right heel is pressing back towards that back wall. Inhale as we reach up towards the sky and crescent. Staying steady. Leaning forward and reaching those hands back into a Spider-Man-like pose. Really drawing strength from these big muscles in our legs. Inhale as you come back up to crescent. And next exhale, coming into the Superman. Reaching up one last time. We'll straighten that front knee. Again, picking up the big toe, this time on the left leg, or adding a little bit of a micro bend in the knee. I'm going to reach forward and lengthen over that front leg. And if you'd like, feel free to bring this back leg in as much as you need. If you need to take some weight off of the hands, that's fine. Maybe you notice this side feels a little different than the other side. Maybe it's a little bit more tight, a little bit less tight. Maybe it's the same. We're just really trying to focus in and pay attention to what our body is telling us throughout our practice. Now bending that front knee, we'll rotate that right heel down to the ground. We'll sweep our arms up. Again, coming to warrior two on the opposite side. Always checking our foundation first. And once you have your foundation nice and set, go ahead and just gaze past that left tips of the fingers. Inhale as we straighten that front leg, reaching the hands up to the sky. Exhale, we dip back down. Coming into extended side angle here, bringing the left elbow to the inner side of the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over the ear, keeping the shoulder tucked into its socket. Again, doing any of the variations if you need for your wrist. We'll swing back through to warrior two. And then bringing the hands up. We'll rotate again, coming into this crescent. We're going to skip the forward fold here. We're going to stay in this crescent for just a moment. And when you're ready, taking a step or two forward. Inhale to reach the hands nice and high. We'll forward fold here. Nice and long. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale to fold. With a gentle bend in the knees, bringing the arms out wide and up. Hands come down to heart center. Go ahead and come to your mat now, to a seated position. First, we're just going to come into boat pose. There's a few different variations here, so do whatever one feels right for you. You can either keep your feet or your heels on the mat, hands come out in front. You just slowly come back about a third or 2/3 of the way until you feel a nice little burn in your belly. If that feels okay for you, you can also bring both feet up. If that feels okay, go ahead and play with bringing both feet nice and straight out in front of you. Just whatever feels okay on your body and with your injuries. And releasing as we come up. One more time. We'll slowly come all the way down until you're nice and flat on your mat. Bringing the knees up. Do a couple bridge poses here. Sorry, my dog's trying to get in the shot. Bringing the heels nice and close to the buttocks. We're going to bring our hands down on the mat. And if you're new to bridge pose, normally you want to press your hands into the mat while you raise your hips. But if that hurts, feel free to just press your elbows. If you know that you don't need your wrists, if you have done this a few times before, go ahead and press up and roll your shoulders under from side to side. There we go. Really focusing on pressing up and through these hips, the hip flexors. And gently releasing, rolling one vertebra at a time towards the mat. Do this again, coming back up into bridge into whatever variation you'd like. Gently exhaling as you allow one vertebra to come down at a time. From here, we'll just give ourselves a nice little spinal twist before we come into Shavasana. So bring your arms to a T, crossing the right knee over the left, and then dropping those knees towards the left. As you do that, you're going to turn your head and look over towards the right. We always want to start our twisting with looking over the right side because it helps with digestion. It allows us to flow with the way nature has intended our bodies to move. Inhale as you bring the knees up, switching sides. And dropping the knees to the right side. Looking over that left hand. Allowing the back to release. Letting that spine squeeze out any tension, any tightness. Inhale as we come to center. Go ahead and bring our hands about 30 degrees out from the body, releasing the legs, coming into Shavasana. Feet come towards the edge of the mat. Closing the eyes, taking a nice deep breath in through the belly. If you want to place your hands on your stomach and breathe into that. And then as you exhale, just imagine your body sinking into the earth, into the mat. Letting everything go. Enjoying this moment of peace, tranquility. Letting the mind be calm and still. Feel free to continue staying here in Shavasana. It'd be best if you did this for another 5 minutes or so. Just know that when you are ready to come out of it, you can roll over to your left side, taking a moment here, propped on your hands. Letting the practice sink in. If this hurts your hands, you can just bring them out next to you. And coming up to a seated position with your eyes still closed if possible. Finding that nice, quiet, even breath. Noticing how it feels from earlier. How you feel. Taking this with you throughout your day. Being gentle with yourself and with your injuries. Bring the hands to heart center. And taking a moment to give gratitude to yourself for keeping your practice, for listening to your body, for making space and time for yourself and for your everyday practice, making it a habit. I hope you all enjoyed this wrist-free yoga practice. Namaste.